And we're back, ladies and gents, with game 2 here between EXNL and MG Nitro, a battle of titans in the Noxus division here. I'm Random Minion Caster, and on the blue side, we've got EXNL, and on the red side, we've got MG Nitro. No changes to any of the rosters here, and MG Nitro did manage to take game 1 in a very hard-fought victory over EXNL here, which really could have gone either way. And into game 2, EXNL going to try and find their way back into these series here. Now, in terms of picks and bans, we've got the Alawi ban, Kiana ban, a Vayne ban this time. They don't want the Octibot to get his hands on that one. The Zac and the Caitlyn as well. For MG Nitro, they fumbled their bans a little bit, but it's actually a Syndra, Lulu, Aatrox. They lose a ban for the use of E-Sub, a throw guard, and Olaf to round that one off here. Now, in terms of pick, we do see EXNL here going with a really solid AoE composition. They've got Orianna, Sejuani, Ornn, Galio, and Yasuo. The Yasuo that was banned last game. And that's not going to Glub Glub in the mid lane. Instead, that is going to Bears in the bot lane. So EXNL taking a risk here with a primarily melee composition, with only Orianna providing any range damage here. They've got a lot of knockups though, so this could potentially go very, very well for them. We'll have to see how that works. As for MG Nitro, they've had their fun playing that teamfight AoE composition. They've decided, they've tried it, they know it works, and they're done with that. Instead, they're switching back over to what we normally see from them, really strong, aggressive team fighting lanes here. And they've got themselves a Diana, a Braum, a Mordekaiser, a Kai'Sa, and that's not a Jinx, that's actually a Vi for MG Nitro there. So not only did they mess up their bans, but apparently they messed up their picks as well. But that is indeed a Vi. So coming out from MG Nitro here, they've got themselves really strong lanes, but I don't think they necessarily win the late game here against a Yasuo. Their mid game actually is also going to be extremely dicey, so I am looking at MG Nitro to try and find themselves a lead in the early game here, because come the mid game, their composition is a little scattered. Sure, you've got the Mordekaiser to remove one person, and depending on who you remove, if you remove the key bears here on that Yasuo, sure, you disassemble the enemy composition, but they still got Glub Glub on the Orianna, and we saw MG Piglet play it in game 1 here, and that Orianna can pump a lot of damage in these team fights. As for the rest of the team comp, you've got a throw guard going aggressively in, maybe Piglet to follow up, and Yoctibot's just going to try and stay alive with, I'm very upset, once more on that Braum to try and protect Yoctibot. But ultimately, it's going to be a chaotic fight for MG Nitro, and they're going to want it as messy as possible, because they're not going to win a straight front to back fight here. And as for EXNL, yes, they've got a huge power spike in the mid game. They do have to be careful of falling off in the late game a little bit though. Despite having the Yasuo, who scales amazingly well into the late game, it is a bit short range, and range starts to matter a lot here in the late game as well. So they do have to be careful about in the late game whether it gets a little dicey here, much like game 1 where either team could really take it. And with that being said, I mean, I'm not expecting an invade, but it actually would benefit MG Nitro to get really aggressive at level 1. They have the leeway. They can afford to sort of throw a level 1 fight or even throw the game here. And if they do manage to win a fight, they actually accelerate the pace of the game for themselves. But it looks like they are not going to, instead just start a bit passively. They did actually have the stronger level 1 as well here. And in terms of the lanes, I am expecting MG Nitro to kind of win all the lanes a little bit here. In the mid lane, Glub Glub will probably struggle, beat out MG Piglet. Piglet gonna have a bit of problems till he hits 3, gets that gap closer unlocked, and can really jump on to Glub Glub and trade there. But once he does that, I am expecting Piglet to start having that lane pressure, the kill pressure. One thing to note is that MG Piglet did not take Ignite. He opted for the teleport instead, so we might not see as many kills in the mid lane. But it will be a little safer for MG Piglet. He should be able to skill up quite nicely as well. And in the bot lane here, no ignites either. So really no ignites in the game right now. Both Opti and I'm very upset opting for that exhaust. Makes sense a little bit here. For the side of MG Nitro, I'm very upset. He wants to be able to exhaust the Yasuo should he go in. But I'm a little surprised at Opti not taking the Ignite, because with a Yasuo, you are looking at a kill lane here. If you look at just the farm lane, Bears will eventually get poked out, so they need to have that kill pressure here. So interesting choice from the side of EXNL. We'll have to see if that one pays out in that bot lane there. also watching for a throw guard to really look to get some action going with that Vi. We've seen Vi in the league a couple of times. In the early games is incredibly strong, but does fall off quite a bit in that late game as well. So especially against a team like this with so many tanks, with so much disruption and peel, it's going to be very, very difficult here for a throw guard to have impact in the late game. Bot lane, we are seeing Yachty and I'm very upset getting zoned out a little bit, and that's to be expected against the Galio Yasuo bot lane. As long as Yachty can farm up, that's going to be perfectly fine for them. They will eventually sort of outskill and hit the point where they can trade really well. And the Yasuo pick was actually really strong into the Kai'Sa, because Kai'Sa fairly short-ranged ADC as well. So has to be careful. If he stands too close to the minion wave, he can get very quickly engaged on by bears. Top lane, only Lewis punishing Chef Boy here. Can he get the solo kill? Potentially here. The flash from only Lewis moved him, I think, less than half a Teemo there, and he's going to get extremely low. Very, very unfortunate for him. Has to be careful now, because Just the Game is in the area as well. And what a wasted opportunity here for MG Nitro to get themselves an early lead in that top lane. And sure enough, he did not go back, and now he is getting ganked here by Just a Game. No flash available, and that's going to be an easy first blood going to Just a Game. Bot lane, we do see the taunt coming across from Opti. It is getting a bunch of CC off, but he's trading health for CC right now as he gets chunked down to less than half health. Surprisingly, Bear is not really able to get that much damage down, and the minions were just punishing Opti for that. That's going to give them a chance to get in on them. Their wind wall is still down, but it's going to be, I'm very upset, going down instead right there. I think they overestimated their damage. They didn't realize how much damage the minions did for them in that last fight, and now Bears has to be careful. He's getting taken low. Will be able to survive right there. Still has the heal as well if he felt that he might go down, and suddenly things going EXNL's way here in the early game. Despite the two kills going early over the way of EXNL right now, a throw guard is finding a huge lead in the jungle, is actively counter jungling Just a Game here. Is clearing up that top side and now looking for a potential gank onto Glub Glub in the mid lane here. Piglet is level 5, is everything available, but it's going to be Glub Glub backing off. His spider senses tingling there will get him off to safety. And now Just the Game potentially looking for this Drake. Instead, he's going to run into a throw guard here. Are they going to fight? I'm very upset. Was rotating up from that bot side. But Just the Game wisely backing off. Doesn't want to throw the early lead that they had. And they actually had a 1,000 gold lead, which has now been shrunk to only a 500 gold lead here in that top lane. Only Lewis, despite dying, is still actually dominating this top side in terms of CS here. Bot side as well. I'm very upset, and Yachty have done a great job so far, just focusing on farming and scaling up. We do see the Tear of the Goddess being picked up from Yachty right now, so he's not going to have more combat time. They're still focused on farming up the bot side. You do have to be careful though. It does look like a freeze is being set up here by Bears and Opti. Top lane, Chef Boy firing back onto only Lewis, but not to great effect. Only Lewis still quite safe here thus far, still trading back a lot of damage. Yachty has to be careful, like we said, did buy the Tear of the Goddess, so not really much more combat effectiveness against Yachty against Bears, pardon me, who went back and bought the Berserker's Grease for himself right now. Only Lewis going to drag Chef Boy into the death realm here. Chef Boy dashing away, but he's already at the edge. There's nowhere for him to go. The damage takes down, and that's going to be a solo kill for only Lewis. A throw guard showing up in that top lane, unfortunately, just for moral support. And now we do get the knock up onto Yachty. No level 6, so no last breath just yet. Wind wall comes across, but it's going to be, I'm very upset, melee attacks and apply the stun. The taunt coming out now is going to force the flash out from Yachty. He's extremely low right now. And the heal now from Bears to try and keep Opti alive. But that's going to be a win once again for EXNL. They don't get the kill, but they get a ton of pressure. And that's going to force Yachty, and I'm very upset to have to hug their turret. If they step out, we could see a kill here from Bears. MG Piglet roaming down to this bot side for now. Does have the flash available. Is he going to flash engage? Doesn't look like it. He's going to back off instead. That is unfortunately some time wasted from MG Piglet as he does not find anything in his bot lane roam. Things aren't looking great for MG Nitro on this bottom side of the map right now. Glub able to find an experience and a CS lead as well. Minor though it is, it's not a good sign for MG Piglet. And in that bot side right now, so far, Yasuo, the pressure he's able to put out has been really big. I'm surprised that EXNL has not tried to go for that first Cloud Drake. Even if they don't want the cooldown reduction, if it's the only one, it still will help to clear and set up the next Drake here for themselves. And a throw guard as well. So far, not finding much luck on these ganks. He went to the top lane, but it was a little bit too late to really get anything. He could potentially look for something in this bot lane. There's no wards here, and he's going to take the blast going over, and he's going to run right into Bears, and that's going to be a very dead Yasuo. Assault and battery lands. The flash is being traded from the supports, and obviously going to be able to get himself out for now. But despite the pressure they had, it looks like first Drake might actually go the way of MG Nitro here. Question is Throwguard going to go for it? He's going to try and grab the scuttle for himself, but Yoctibot actually going back to base means that I'm not sure a Throwguard is going to go for this Drake here. Mid lane, Glub putting a lot of damage, but they spot out, unfortunately, only Lewis coming down from that top side, as well as a Throwguard looking for that deep flank here. Glub going to be able to stay safe. Really good warding here from Just a Game and Glub to make sure that Glub is safe. It will not go down. Now Just a Game getting dragged back by only Lewis, but we do see the Glacial Prison coming down, and it's going to be a smite from Just a Game here to secure that blue buff. Only Lewis might not want to stick around here. There's 3 coming for him here. And it is going to be the Cloud Drake finally being started up. They know Just the Game is topside, so they feel comfortable here. Confident starting this one up with a throw guard. Yoctibot going back to base will find himself Berserker's Greaves here. And Bear's opting for the agility cloak rather than straight damage. He wants that crit. He wants that crit modifier as well. Teleport coming out. It's going to be Glub arriving, and they might be able to take this one. Dragon being reset. A throw guard flashing away. Still going to get caught here, and the last breath coming up onto MG Piglet. But that Moonfall just doing work right now. It's going to be Opti going down, and a throw guard looking for Glub. Can they find him? Yes, they can. The Dragon still being done right now. Only Lewis dragging Chef Boy into the death realm with himself. And that's going to be Dragon going over the way of MG Nitro after a very exciting detour here where they managed to pick up 2 kills for themselves. Unfortunate for EXNL, Just a Game simply wasn't there, and I questioned them actually going for that, considering Just a Game went for the Herald instead. So surely they must have known that their jungler would never have been present in that fight, and they were effectively fighting that one 5v4 here. And that's going to set EXNL a little further behind. Not the end of the world for them. They still have a very strong level mid-game for themselves, with all of them now hitting level 6, having their ultimates unlocked. They can still win these mid-game fights. It's only a 1,500 gold lead here for the side of MG Nitro, so definitely not over by any means. And it is going to be the Mountain Drake next, same as game 1 here, so not going to be a huge priority put on to that Drake necessarily, but they will want to clear it to try and get either the Ocean or the Infernal Souls stacking for themselves. Both those souls absolutely massive here. Additional damage or just incredible survivability in fights. And only one major item completed on the side of MG Nitro right now. That is going to be that Nash's Tooth in the mid lane for MG Piglet. We do see Just a Game coming in. Glacial Prison does not quite land. The slow is applied, but not the stun. And they're going to give up on that one there. that cooldown, about a 2-minute cooldown, will not be available for the next major fight. But considering there's no major objectives on the map right now, I don't think it'll be too bad. Instead, we see the Glacial Fissure coming out from I'm Very Upset now as he looks to try and find Just a Game. It's going to be the flash coming out from Just a Game, and MG Piglet aggressively going in. He gets the Moonfall onto Glub Glub, and Glub Glub just getting melted off the face of the earth. I'm Very Upset continuing his kill-stealing ways. Picks up yet another kill here on to MG Piglet. Both teams taking a moment to reset here. There was nothing really they could take after the fight there. The wave, unfortunately, in the mid lane wasn't pushed up, so Piglet not able to get a lot of damage into the mid lane turret there. But that is still a kill going over to Piglet, and I'm Very Upset now. And despite having said that Brahm's not the best person to get the kills on here, doesn't really necessarily scale amazingly well with it. It will make him tankier, and that will help a lot in this bot lane, especially against Opti and Bears. Because the tankier I'm Very Upset gets, the better he'll be able to sort of protect Yogti Bolt there. Make sure that he's providing a bit of a shield against the engage there. You can't stop the last breath, but you can certainly stop the follow-up damage. And top lane, surprisingly, I was expecting more out of only Lewis here. I was expecting to see a lot more action against Chef Boy. So far, besides that solo kill in the top lane been fairly quiet for both these teams here. Only Lewis is, though, however, absolutely punishing right now in terms of lane control. He's up 40 CS here. Shrinking right now as he did go back to base, but that's absolutely huge. Chef Boy definitely not able to do much. We do see the knock up here, the Last Breath coming out as well as the taunt, and that's going to be I'm Very Upset ultimately going down here. Very unfortunate for him, but he bought time to get Yogti Boat out, and that's the important thing. MG Piglet running down, using the teleport into this bot lane, and it's going to be a beautiful 3-man Moonfall here. They get the kill, Throw Guard coming in with that Assault and Battery, and now MG Piglet going to go down to Just a Game, but that is still another kill here for a Throw Guard and Yogti Boat, and that's going to help Yogti Boat a lot to try and scale up. Only Bears left alive after that one. We did see the charge coming up from Shell. It will get quite a bit of damage, but I do believe that the plates did go down before that happened. The wind wall coming up for now is going to stop the damage coming out on to Bears, but I'm Very Upset has arrived. He's applying the stun. Yogti Boat with the last second flash keeps himself alive and nets himself a kill in the bot lane there. Clutch fight from both bot lanes here, and it's going to be MG Nitro coming up big here. Chef Boy getting dragged into the death realm. And can they find him? No, they can't. We see the flash coming up from a Throw Guard, but unfortunately will not be able to connect. And Chef Boy able to survive for now, trading flashes with a Throw Guard. And now that they've seen a Throw Guard in that top side, EXNL can feel free to start this Drake up, the Mountain Drake for themselves. And much like game 1 here, this Mountain Drake actually is going to be fairly big for the side of EXNL. They're the one with a ton of tanks this game here, with the Ornn, with the Sejuani, with the Galio. So being able to pick that up would be great for them, but they end up backing out as we do see I'm Very Upset now poking his head in there, and that's going to be enough to dissuade EXNL. I mean, I guess those kills were well spent. 1, 2, and 6 on this Braum, and it's scary enough to force EXNL to back out. Instead, it's going to be MG Nitro going to start this one up here. Just a Game is in the area. They don't have vision, though, right now. They do have to be careful, and it's a Throw Guard aggressively going in. That's a smite not available. He's hunting Bears. Can he find him? Last Breath coming across. Will be able to get I'm Very Upset. MG Piglet might be the next one on the chopping block here. Does get a beautiful Moonfall off, though. And we do see the Ornhorn coming across. Will not be able to find MG Piglet. Yogti Boat and only Lewis focus here. Get themselves the Dragon. Command Shockwave finds 2, but it's not the almost dead members. And instead, it's going to be Glub Glub going down, paying for the Command Shockwave there. Yogti Boat aggressively diving the turret. Will get extremely low. Finds himself Opti, though, and that's going to be a 4 for none here. Or 4 for 1 up. Very Upset did go down earlier in that fight, but it was so early in the fight that he's already back up on the map right now. And MG Nitro increasing their lead. They're now suddenly 14-5. 2 Drakes to their name, 4,500 gold up right now. And this is where they want to be. This is the MG Nitro we're used to seeing here. As if that wasn't enough to add insult to injury, MG Piglet picking up the first turret off the game in that mid lane as well to grow that lead to a full 5,000 here. Yogg in a commanding position right now. He's 6-0-5, does have the man immune built right now, so will have it stacking for the next little while. He will still be weaker than Bears, but not for much longer. Bears picking up that Phantom Dancer for himself already as well. I just want to take a moment to think about the individual players for the teams here. We do see Bears taking that bot lane turret answering back. We'll be able to find at least something for his team here. And for the side of MG Nitro, MG Piglet, 2-1-7, but has been an amazing initiator for his team. Not afraid to throw himself in there to get those 3-4-man moonfalls. So despite the fact that his KDA not reflecting it, he's been actually absolutely massive. Top lane, only Lewis grabbing Chef Boy once more into the death realm. But unfortunately, Chef Boy just so tanky right now. He can't quite find the kill. Is able to constantly push him out though. But that CS lead has not grown since the last time we really saw it. And Yogg here for MG Nitro has been an absolute monster across the entire season right now. Potentially one of the best ADCs here in the Noxus division, if not the best ADC. And he's once again showing it 6-0-4. Top lane though, Chef Boy in a bad position here as he's getting collapsed on by 3. It's going to be MG Piglet picking up the kill credit for himself here. And that might be another turret going down in favor of MG Nitro. They're out of minions though, and they do have to be careful because all of EXNL has been congregated into that mid lane. They're going to get themselves the outer turret here. Glacial Fissure to buy some time, but it won't not be able to save the turret. The teleport from only Lewis going to be cancelled out now. Last breath coming across, and that's going to be, I'm very upset, did once again. And I'm sure he's going to be very upset this time because why teleport from the turret? That canceled when it went down, and that's a double kill into that bot lane there. The kill credit for the bounty going over the way of Glub and EXNL finding and pushing a lead in this mid lane. They get 2 turrets and 2 kills here. Really well played from EXNL. They saw an opportunity and they went for it here. MG Nitro does manage to get that top lane outer turret, but is it really worth that mid lane inner turret? Out of all the lanes here, mid lane usually considered the highest priority lane because it runs through the center of the map. And you can see the vision here from MG Nitro right now lacking quite a bit here. On the side of EXNL, they've got some good vision here near the objectives. On the bot side, a nice trio of wards here, but there's nothing really in that bot side. In the top side, they have a very good vision of what is going on here. They know that the Herald is being taken, but they can't do anything to stop it. It's going to be MG Nitro's Herald here. They're going to be able to return the favor. We did see Just the Game picking up the Herald, the first Herald earlier, and dropping it, getting a lot of damage off. And now it's MG Nitro who's going to be able to do the same. Crack a turret. They are actually down a turret right now compared to EXNL with that last push that EXNL got. And right now, there is no teleport mismatch. Both the mid laners carrying their teleports here. We'll have to see if they opt to send them to the side lanes. And we do see Inferno being pinged out right now from EXNL. They are looking for it. Opti going aggressively and trying to find. I'm very upset, but that might have been a mistake because it buys time for MG Piglet to go in. And now Bear's getting absolutely shredded. He gets a 3-man last breath, but he doesn't have the damage yet with just the Phantom Dancer. He's going to go down. MG Piglet getting the kill credit for that one. Glacial Prison comes across. Will find MG Piglet. The Ornhorn coming across as well. And lots of things just coming across the map. Unfortunately, it's going to be I'm very upset. Did once again. He's 1-5-9 and he's dying a lot this game. To be fair, not all of it his fault. He is paying for the sins of some of his teammates' mistakes here as the solid support that he's having to be right now. Only Lewis now has to be careful. He's going to drag Just a Game into the death realm with him. So it is kind of a 3v3 or 3v2 right now. and only was taking a lot of damage, was not able to find Glub, was not able to find Just the Game, but he's got them all low right now. It's up to Yocti Boat here to try and finish things off, because unfortunately for him, a throw guard will go down. Does manage to be able to find Opti at least in Just a Game, and now it's a 2v1, but it's 2v1 against a very, very scary Kaisa. Unfortunately, Glub able to put the damage down, able to fire back, and that's Yocti Boat going down once again here. MG Piglet though on to Bears right now, will find the kill. A beautiful command shockwave though, putting a lot of damage down. Unfortunately for him, MG Piglet is his engage coming up, doesn't quite need it. He finds himself another kill there. And what a messed up, drawn out fight. The Glub still hanging around, as is I'm very upset, and MG Piglet here. MG Piglet looking for that flag, will be able to find it, and I'm very upset with yet another kill steal here. And I want to say MG Nitro comes out after that. I honestly lost track of how many kills in that fight, with basically an ace for both teams and an extended fight as well. Opti looking to try and come over that turret. I'm very upset, really low right now. They need to secure this one. They do manage to do so. No steal this time coming up from Bears. Yasuo unfortunately does not have a global ultimate to try and steal that one there. And that's going to be Inferno going the way of MG Nitro. And a beautiful Glacial Prison to secure the kill onto Piglet. That's a shutdown as well. Just a game. Really throwing that blind actually. There was no vision here. So he just knew that from the vision they did have, that MG Piglet didn't walk out of that bot side, and a beautiful catch there. EXNL not happy to lose the fight, but they will happily take that takeaway kill there. And I'm going to be honest, coming into the game, into this series, I was not really expecting too much of EXNL. Week 4 was a little weak from them, and what we've seen of a lot of these top 2 battles tends to not be that great in the regular season, but they've been doing amazingly here. Top lane, Chef Boy getting collapsed on. It's going to be a throw guard picking up that one there. Bot lane though, it's going to be, I'm very upset, looking for Bear, but Opti coming in with that heroic entrance, the first major one we've seen, is going to be able to turn the tides, and can, I'm very upset, get out? Yes, he can, is healthy enough to heal from Yocti Boat, keeping him alive as well. And it's going to be MG Piglet from that backline, returning fire. Bears already did, but they left the turret range, and unfortunately for them, Glub and Just the Game waiting in the wings there. A Yocti Boat going to be the next to go down. That's a 3-4-1 here in the bot lane. Only Lewis arriving too late to really get anything. It has to be careful. Glub is still there on the side. Can pump out a lot of damage even without the command shockwave available. And EXNL really sticking in it right now. They are getting to the point where Chef Boy should soon be able to start upgrading their items and giving them a boost as well. The Infinity Edge here completed for Bears is going to be absolutely massive. We saw before with just that Phantom Dancer, he did put out some damage, but not enough. Certainly not enough to burst down the carries. Now with that Infinity Edge, he can certainly look to do that here and potentially swing fights in their favor. They're staying in at 2,500 gold lead at 25 minutes here. Not that big a deal. And it's not showing in the items right now. And yeah, I was just talking about how EXNL certainly showing why they are ranked second. They did a huge revamp last week of their roster, but what I'm seeing of this new roster here is still really, really good for them. Running into the top team and being able to fight back this way against MG Nitro. Not a lot of teams can say they've been able to do that here. And in Game 1, sure, you can make the case that MG Nitro was trying a composition that they're not necessarily the most comfortable with. But here in Game 2, this is exactly what MG Nitro is great at. This is their bread and butter, strong lanes. And even then, they are struggling a little bit in these strong lanes because EXNL has dropped it themselves equally strong lanes along with better scaling. And we do see MG Nitro now looking to try and find some way of closing out the game here. Baron is available. They've not warded it up actually, and on the side of EXNL, they've got zero vision there. All their vision was thrown down to that bot side, and so they've got to be extremely careful. Vault Breaker coming across, actually misses everyone there. There will be no knockup. Only Lewis now taking a bunch of damage. They don't have a proper initiation tank. They're relying very heavily on MG Piglet to be the one going in, but he doesn't have a Zhonya's Hourglass, no stopwatch either. So if he goes in like that and his team doesn't immediately follow up, he's gonna basically be dead before the second take of Moonfall can follow up. And with all those whiffs there, EXNL now on the inside track. They're pushing into the mid lane here, but there's no inner turret. So unless they're planning on sieging up the mid lane inhibitor turret, it's going to be a little dicey for them to do this here. It's especially dicey when you consider the way MG Nitro's composition works here. They're the ones who want to look for a flank here. They've got MG Piglet on this Diana. They've got Vi. They want to look for a catch, find that squishy backline. So if you overextend into the mid lane all the way like that without sufficient vision on your flanks, you could easily get collapsed on. And if Bears goes down, if Glub goes down, EXNL gonna struggle to be able to win any team fight because they won't have enough consistent damage there. And this stall has been going on so long that the Inferno actually is going to be coming back up in about 30 seconds here. And it looks like both teams more than happy to switch their focus onto that bot side instead. Neither of them confident that they can finish off the Baron here. And Yoctibot has his 3-item spike, the Hurricane, the Mirror Mana fully stacked now, as well as the Rage Blade here. When you look across, Bears does have the IE, does have the Phantom Dancer, but has not completed his 3rd major item yet, and so will have to land that perfect last breath to be the impactful AD carry from that bot lane here. And the reason why we're seeing the stall partially is also that despite EXNL getting the better macro rotation, they actually can't take turrets very easily here. They don't have that ranged AD carry. Only Lewis has to be careful. He's extremely low right now, and the minions right now doing work for the side of it looks like MG Nitro, and we do see the Ornhorn coming across. It doesn't find anybody. Only Lewis going in. He's grabbed just the game, so that's no Glacial Prison available here. And we do see Bears freely getting away with his damage, but now he's been CC'd up. Glub did. The Command Shockwave was used though, so that's the bulk of the damage out. I'm very upset the first casualty, but he'll be happy to be that first casualty because him being dead means the rest of his team took no damage at all, and that's an ace now for MG Nitro. They've picked up the Inferno Drake. They can look to run for the Baron as well. 30-second death timers here for the side of EXNL. Unfortunately for them, Glub just got forced out and burst down immediately. Bears as well was on the tanks, it looks like. They didn't get almost any damage at all onto Yoctibot. Interesting to note was MG Piglet opted for the Banshees rather than that Zhonya's Hourglass, so more damage for him. Definitely paid out as they pick themselves up a Baron here on all 5 members, as well as a huge lead. They're up 7,000. They've got themselves Inferno So, and they're now in prime position to just push in and look to potentially end the game. If they can get themselves another ace, that will be it here for EXNL. On the other hand, we've seen how resilient EXNL is. EXNL in game 1 firing back, taking that game to a 40+ minute game where really any team could have potentially taken that one here. And they've still got that massive team fight composition. They can still look for that wombo combo, and they pull it off right. They can still come back from this easy here against MG Nitro. We see the stopwatch coming out from MG Piglet right now, and that's a really solid purchase here, considering he is the primary initiator here for the side of Nitro. And it's going to make it that much harder for EXNL to burst Piglet down in these fights. And with that Conqueror, with that Gnasher's Tooth, it's not a fire and forget sort of Diana here. You have to kill the Diana, or he will be able to heal up just constantly auto-attacking, getting those crescent slashes off, proccing in these crowded AoE fights as well. So the question is, who are you going to target on the side of EXNL? Ideally, you want to take Yoctibot out, but it's going to be kind of hard to. He's extremely mobile here. The flash is still down, but the heal is available. So that's who they're going to have to focus. And for now, the Aegis being built on Yoctibot will give a bit more defensive stats. Won't really matter much in the grand scheme of things. He doesn't have a ton of health to scale that off of, but once that Death Dance is complete, it will be a whole different issue. We do see MG Piglet pushing in that top lane with that Gnasher's Tooth, able to quickly take down turrets as well. And mid lane is going to be a throw guard, and only Lewis. Yoctibot finally deigning to join them after he picks up the blue buff for himself here. They're pushing in, looking to take this inner turret as well. So it's a 4-1 split right now, and there's no teleport for MG Piglet. So if the fight does break out, it will be whoever's there, and that's it. Glove does have his teleport, but is grouped up with the rest of the team. They figure this is where the bulk of the fight is going to happen. Chef Boy being pushed around in that top lane, though it has to be careful. We see Bears looking for an engage. Will we see the Oran Horn being sounded out here? No, we don't, and that's going to be top lane inhibitor going down. Surprisingly, they just let that one go, and that's going to be base cracked here. Piglet going to burn the engage right onto Chef Boy there. And he's going to go golden, trying to buy time for the rest of the team to join him there. And they are indeed here. Glacial Fissure finds 2. And that is going to be Bears forced out immediately out of that fight. Unfortunately for just a game, he's locked up. He's dead already. Bears getting killed by incidental damage there. Opti taunting, but do you really want to taunt when you're almost dead? And that's going to be another clean ace with I'm Very Upset stealing yet another kill. 4th of this game, I believe 7th or 8th of this series onto Glove there. And congrats to MG Nitro as they make sure they finish top of the standings here in the regular season. Clean 2-0 sweep on a 32-minute game here. And this game did come down a lot to MG Piglet and Yocti both. Beautiful engages from MG Piglet there. Amazing play on the Diana. And usually we do see MG Piglet on those more skilling champions with, say, like the Vladimir or the Oriana that we've seen around the Cassiopeia. But with now this Diana, it's absolutely huge. And teams will have to take note of this. We have seen it banned away before, and I think EXNL, just having not seen him play it for the last little while, decided to let that one through. But he's ending 8-4-13, and that doesn't tell the half of it. Despite how strong Yocti Boat is, 11-3-10, I would actually give MVP of this game to Piglet instead, because his engages were on point. And despite that team composition from MG Nitro not being a team fight composition, MG Piglet with that Moonfall made it look like a team fight composition as they won multiple 4v4s, 5v5s as well. And for the side of EXNL, they did end up losing this one, slowly just getting choked out and just kind of losing, but they did put up a huge, massive fight, and I would put that partially down to draft. I see what they were doing here with that Yasuo pick, with that Yasuo AD carry. I mean, if it works, it's great, and unfortunately, it just didn't work in this particular situation here, and I wouldn't hold it against EXNL. They were willing to try, they were willing to experiment, and just unfortunately for them, it didn't unfortunately work out. Bears is a huge Yasuo play, and we have seen pop-up games for him, so I think EXNL just needs to basically work a little bit on this composition, maybe not draft it. Well, I mean, they did draft it into basically as ideal conditions they could. It was a Kai'Sa, it's a short-range AD carry. I think that one was just on Yocti Bolt playing that one good in lane, along with I'm Very Upset, able to constantly peel, make sure that they couldn't really follow up that last breath. So I would put it down to draft, and it was a risk they opted to take. I respect that, and I think I would like to see this competition come out again from EXNL into the playoffs. And with that, the standings are done. MG Nitro finishing top of the standings with EXNL right below them here, and they will get a bye, so we won't be seeing either of these teams next week or this Friday here. Instead, we'll be seeing 7 men facing off against Vengeful Reapers and DOV Nightfall facing against Glacial Inferno. Should be great games, both of these series here. Vengeful Reaper and 7 men should be potentially the bloodiest of matches if they play true to form. The last time they did go head-to-head, I believe, was back in week 2 here, and it was some of the messiest games we saw. It went the full 3 games, and we've got best of 5s. We could potentially see the full 5 between these two teams. DOV, Nightfall, and Glacial Inferno. Both these teams have really picked up their game in the last couple of weeks, so it should be good to see them go to head-to-head. DOV, Nightfall with a lot of times they're really good mid-game. Glacial Inferno, a bit more of a mixed bag, but we'll have to see how they fare against DOV, Nightfall. And with that, we are done the regular season for both the Gold Divisions, Noxus and Demacia. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'm looking very much forward to seeing you on Friday as the playoffs officially start on Friday. We did actually have a Demacia playoff game already played, so please do feel free to check that out on the VODs here or on YouTube. And with that, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you around.